So habit number 5 is all about listening, something you never do in school time. Everyone's favorite part. Let's say, oh my gosh. Yeah. My heart is absolutely broken. Jessica just broke up with me. Yeah. And I'm so sad. I'm crying on the inside. I don't even know what to do. And it's just so sad. Can you tell me what to do? Yeah. Wait, you broke up with Linda? Maybe not the best example, but alright. So, habit number 6, good listening skills. If you want to understand someone, they have to understand you. Make sense? No. That's why I'm gonna go over six ways of how you can listen correctly to your peers and friends and whoever. Now I need to do some research. Number 1, not paying attention, aka spacing out. We all have those moments where you're just standing there and your friend is telling a story, but you're trying to listen to, you really are, but you're just out in your own thoughts. You're in La La Land, as many people say. You're not really paying attention to what he's saying because you have so much things caught up in your mind, and you're just like, all right, I have this math project, I have this science project, I have this LA project. Oh my goodness. And you're not really paying attention to what they're actually saying. That's number 1. Number 2 is pretending to listen. Says it itself, not much explaining to be needed. You are listening, but you don't really want to listen. You know, maybe your friend is telling a story about how they went to Italy, and you don't really want to listen, but then you don't want to be mean, so you're acting like you're listening. And most often, it's not done as well. You can be saying things like, yeah, cool, yeah, totally amazing, man. Yeah, you know, those like little comments, or just like nodding or being like, yeah. You know, things like that will hint to the speaker that you don't really, like, you're pretending to listen. Like, you don't really want to listen, but you don't want to be, like, mean. So you're just like, yeah, cool. But you don't actually want to listen. So, pretending to listen explains itself. Number 3. Number 3 is selective listening. Again, explains it itself. When you're talking to someone and you choose what you want to listen to. Example, I'm talking to my mother, she goes like, so finish your homework, do the dishes, clean the house, vacuum the floor, and only then you can play video games. Video games. As soon as I hear video games, that just lights a spark in my head, and then I start listening. Then I'm like, oh yeah, really? Then I actually start to process what the person is saying. And then we have something to talk about. And it may not necessarily be something that the person who's talking to you first doesn't want to, like. And it may not necessarily be what the person who is talking about wanted to talk to you first. Maybe the person who started talking to you wants to talk about their serious mental problem or something. Yet you're there blabbering about video games. So it's not necessarily the best. The 4th one is word listening, where you're only listening to the words, what the person is actually saying. You are failing to understand the emotion, the body language, the facial gestures. You are failing to understand that, and you're just thinking about the words. The next one, number 5, I think, is self-centered listening, where you pretend like you know what the person is going through. And I feel like this one is the absolute worst one. It may be something like, oh yeah, I totally get it. I've went through it myself and I understand what you're going through. Now, what you're actually doing is you're saying that to make the person feel better. Like, it's like you have experienced it before, whereas you absolutely haven't, but you're trying to include them and show them that, oh yeah, this has happened to me before, so like don't feel ashamed. It's fine. It happened to everyone. Now, the person who's talking to you, they will just get it. that they will just understand that you actually didn't, and you cannot relate to whatever they're saying. You have no idea, and they will just realize that you're just saying it to make them feel better, and that will probably make them feel even more worse. Example time. Hey, my parents, they broke up, and it's not going well, and I feel really depressed. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I feel it. My great-great-grandmother broke up with her great-great-grandfather. I do understand what you're talking about. Yet you absolutely don't. You're just trying to make them feel better, and it turns out that you don't, and it will most often just make them feel worse. You just think that they are feeling the same way that you are, and you're failing to understand that they're feeling a totally different way. And number 6, it's number 6, not 10. Number 6 is a really small one. It's judgment. Is when you're way too busy judging instead of actually listening to what the person is saying. That's a quite small one. And right now we're gonna go over ways on how to be a good listener. Yay! So, tips on how to be a good listener. Number 1, body language. I know, I'm surprised as well. Body language is probably one of the most important things when you are talking to someone. Impressive, right? Number 2 is putting yourself into their shoes. This one is pretty hard to do, I am not gonna lie. It is hard to experience what a person is actually feeling, but try your best to do it. Try to at least pretend or understand, or try to estimate almost what the person is feeling. Try to imagine, try to almost estimate what he's feeling. And this is really hard to do, and this would take some practice, so don't expect nailing this one. And number 3, it's new to me, honestly. It is practice mirroring. Now, what does mirroring actually mean? Next time you're talking to someone, try rephrasing what they're saying. You can use phrases such as I presume that's how you feel. And remember, we all love ourselves. We like talking about ourselves. I know I have this all the time. A person would come up to me on Instagram like, "Oh my gosh, do you play hockey? Oh my gosh, I love hockey so much. The Boston Bruins are so amazing. Did you see?" And I won't care. I do care because we're friends, but I really don't I can't connect. And this is why mirroring is important. You can use phrases such as, "As I get it, you feel that," or "As I get it, you're feeling depressed," or "As I get it, you're feeling excited." Some phrases you can use. "As I see it, you are blah blah blah. I can see that you are feeling this," and you will be able to dive into their interests and actually communicate, and they will be interested talking about themselves, and you will build a strong relationship, friendship, whatever it is. That is it. We are moving on to habit number 5. No. That is it. This was habit number 5. We are moving on to habit number 6 and 7. I'm going to put them together because they're really small and really short, so I'm going to just put them together. Yeah, moving on.